Hello, Jordan.
What's up, Michael?
We'll see how much we're lagging today on today's episode in this New York City hotel Wi-Fi setup.
Dude, you're just traveling.
I've mastered the art of the pre-workout or the pre-podcast workout.
Okay, what is it?
It's an exact science that requires a certain amount of blood flow and stimuli, but not too much fatigue so that it negatively impacts the podcast.
I'm waiting with bated breath. What is it?
Somewhere between like 6 and 12 intense working sets seems to be the magic number.
Oh, interesting. Okay. What's the RPE?
I took my last set on everything to a 9 and then probably an 8 on 4 exercises, and then probably like a 7 to 8 on my second to last set of all 4 moves.
So are you just doing a regular pyramid up?
Today I was pyramiding up, practicing that pre-podcast optimization. Hit a little single arm lat pull, seated cable row. They had I wanted to hit a chest supported dumbbell, but the bench has the adjustable piece that like sticks out 4 inches. So you can't actually dumbbell row with the benches because it's in the way. So I went seated cable row, face pull, rope hammer. Bang.
Oh, nice. I like that. What do you prefer, pyramid or reverse pyramid?
Reverse pyramid's much more time efficient and probably technically more optimal. I like reverse pyramid more in a deficit for sure. For someone who wants to go 3x a week, 45 minutes in and out, reverse pyramid. If what you care about most is strength and like muscle preservation, reverse pyramid. But I personally like pyramid. I just like the feel. I think the extra lower intensity sets are great for technique improvement, injury prevention, additional warm up, like just feels better. And I'm in no rush to get in and out for most workouts. So pyramiding up works well.
I could never really get the hang of reverse pyramid from the practical in the gym, trying to lift as heavy as I can on that first work set. I just could never get it. It never felt good to me, especially, actually, I was about to say especially on bench, but really with any exercise. Like, even if I'm thinking whether it's squats or deadlifts or even like tricep press downs, where it's like just such an isolated movement, a reverse pyramid where basically it's like, for anyone who doesn't know, reverse pyramid is you do a couple warm-up sets and then your first set is your absolute heaviest set. And then from there on, you drop down a certain percentage. So the first set is the hardest, whereas usually in a regular pyramid, the last set is the hardest. I feel like from a neuromuscular perspective, neurological perspective, the regular pyramid up to your heaviest set, it made more sense to me intuitively and felt better on my joints, felt better in my brain, which is a weird way to put it. But a lot of people have said, yeah, reverse pyramid is optimal, but it's never felt optimal for me in practice, you know?
Did you reverse pyramid when you worked with Martin?
I did, yeah.
And is that the only time? Or I assume that's the first time you did it. Is that also the only time you did it?
No, that was the first time that I did it, but then I kept doing it for a while, and then I would go off for a little bit, and then I've gone back and forth throughout my training career. But it's just, even a few months ago, I tried doing it for a little while when I was still in the city, when I was going through like a real muscle building phase, and it just doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah. I mean, psychologically doing that super heavy set very early in the workout and within that exercise is hard. And also, I understand the waste aspect of accumulating fatigue through lower intensity sets, like in RPE 4, 5, 6, that aren't necessarily having a lot of muscle building effect, but are hurting what you could do on your top set. Like that's the one argument I get for reverse pyramid. But yeah, in practice, I think you also need to be really angry in practice to put like, I can't do it like I could in 2013.
Yeah. It's also funny though, like if you watch, and every lifter is different, but at least for me, when I was powerlifting, when I was literally at a competition, I would do a lot of warm-up sets before my legit max effort attempts. So it wasn't like I would just do a couple of light warm-ups and then go into my max effort. Like I would do a lot of warm-up sets because it just made me feel better.
Yeah, I'm with you. I tend to agree. Would those warm-up sets be like what's the closest to your max effort set that your last warm-up set would get in terms of weight?
So it's sort of interesting because in powerlifting, I always looked at my first attempt because there's 3 attempts in each lift. My first attempt, I always looked at as my last warm-up. So because the way that Louis taught me was that your first attempt, you should be able to hit it at 2 a.m. And in powerlifting, if a lot of people make the mistake of trying to go too heavy on the first lift and then they bomb out of the meet. And so I literally, as a huge source of pride, I literally never bombed out of a meet because I always looked at the first lift as my last warm up. I should be able to hit it at 2 a.m. So my last warm up before my first attempt was probably around like 90% of that first attempt. So 90%, but still even the first attempt was still a warm up almost. So that warm up was probably about 85% or so of what my max would be. And so it was still pretty close. It was very close to what my like initial attempt was going to be. The difference is I wasn't doing a lot of reps. I would just do between like 1 to 3 reps with my warm up weight. I wasn't doing 5, 6, 7, 8 reps with it.
You're also like most working sets aren't 1 rep maxes. And so I think it makes more sense. It does make more sense to have warm-up sets closer to the weight you're going to do on a 1 rep max than it does if you're hitting 3x5, 3x8, 3x12.
Yeah, makes total sense.
But I'm with you. Intuitively, I'm a big warm-up set guy.
Yeah, especially the older we get.
Yeah, we're getting up there, brother. Oh.
Dude, we're really getting old.
I called Woodway.
Oh, wow. That's huge because, wait, did you order the other treadmill?
No. You're going
to
listen.
Oh,
yeah. you thought the story was going your way.
I thought it was going to be in favor of me. This is not in favor of me.
It is. It is. This is in favor of the real outcome. So I think did we talk about this on the podcast? Getting a treadmill for my basement. The random few days in the winter where there's a snowstorm, there's an ice storm, like I just don't want to slip and smash my head or break my hip or whatever, bruise my hip. I want something downstairs to walk. My wife doesn't want to be outside in the cold in Minnesota doing cardio, and so she wants to get steps inside. So I did a lot of research on treadmills, and one of the reasons why commercial gyms have such robust treadmills, stop Googling things, is
I'm
because...
not Googling, I was checking my Wi-Fi.
Okay. Is because they thought you were trying to get an information advantage. Is because they're being used, 24 hours a day, every day, for years and years by all different sizes of individual. And when you do more research, no, that's not a funny thing. I mean, they're being used constantly, so the mileage is huge. But then if you look at the specs on the treadmill, like certain treadmills, like the weight limits are actually lower than you would think on a lot of these non-commercial treadmills, which is something that you need to take into account. So I wanted just like a treadmill to be able to walk on. I don't run. My wife doesn't run. Just get some steps in here and there downstairs. Found a nice solid one that makes sense. $1,500. I'm a pretty cheap dude as is, dialed in with personal finance and saving. So I'm like, okay, this is like, I'm not breaking the bank on this. I feel pretty good about this. Jordan's like, dude, you don't want to cheap out on a treadmill. Woodway. Woodway is the one. They had Woodway in my building. It's super nice. It's an amazing treadmill. Like, you got to get Woodway. I'm like, and I had worked out in your gym. I was like, yeah, those treadmills were nice. I mean, did I notice a huge difference between the one that I bought that I tried in the store versus the one in your gym? I suppose, like, it seemed a little nicer. The tech on yours was definitely nicer. The electronic piece, you could be inside, but it looks like you're walking outside in the forest on the little screen it has. You can hook your phone into it. All these, whatever. I think we talked about this too. I go on Woodway's website. I'm like, all right, what do these cost? I'll entertain Jordan, and they don't have the prices listed. I'm like, okay, that's annoying. And so I ditch it. A day or two passes, and I think, you know what? I'm going to figure out how much Woodway costs, mostly because I think it'll make good content. And so I call Woodway. I'm like, hey, I'm just wondering about this, whatever their like normal treadmill is. And I'm thinking $6,000, like, because everything that I'm looking at, like the high end at this treadmill store is like 4,000 or 5,000. I'm like, at this Woodway, their prices aren't listed. Thinking maybe 6, maybe 7.
All right. Well, that's what I was thinking. $6,000.
Okay. If you say so, big spender. But I call the guy. So, oh yeah, that basic Woodway, blah, blah, blah. 20,000.
Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?
$20,000
for a treadmill?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's stupid. There's no way. 20,000? I thought it was like 5 or 6.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Yeah.
I wouldn't tell you to buy a $20,000 treadmill unless it had a built-in sauna and pool and like gym inside of the treadmill. That's insane.
Meanwhile, to show the difference between Jordan and I's personality, yesterday I was, what was I trying to convince you to start yesterday?
I have no idea. What were you trying to convince me to start?
I told you to open it up. It'll save you a few $1,000s a year.
Oh, health savings account. I'm the perfect candidate.
Yeah. Yep. I'm like, bro, you got to open an HSA. I ran the numbers. It'll save you a couple grand a year. And you're like, Woodway. Don't cheap out. Dude, get a Woodway. You won't regret it.
Dude, I will. Woodway is they are the best. I think the big difference between you and me is I didn't know that you, oh wait, yes, I did know this. You went to the store to test out treadmills. That's like, I would never do that. I would just be like, yeah, let's just get it and we'll figure.
Let's just get the best one. Oh, it's 13x the cost? Whatever.
You don't want to cheap out on it.
You don't want to cheap out on the treadmill. Trust me.
You don't want to have it break and then have to have someone come over and fix it.
No, I know that you didn't actually think it was that expensive, but my jaw dropped when he told me the price.
Yeah. I can't believe that. I didn't even think that any treadmill was $20,000. That's insane.
Yeah.
But I do love Woodways. I don't like the Woodway, the one, they have one where like there's no motor on it. It's like you're the one that makes it go and it's like curved. I don't like that one. I know a lot of people say they love it and they didn't like it at first and you have to get used to it. I don't like that one. I like the regular treadmill that is like motor powered, and the thing I like about Woodway is it's so nice on my joints. I've never been on a treadmill that feels that good. The way that the padding is made, the way that the belt is made just feels so good on my joints. And this is not sponsored. If they wanted to give me a free $20,000 treadmill, I would definitely take it. But yeah, Woodway I think has, in my opinion, the best treadmills I've ever used.
I wouldn't take it. I have a treadmill and I have principles.
Wait, did it get delivered?
No,
yours get delivered?
It's coming this week.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thought you'd get a kick out of that.
And dude, how's New York? You're in New York coaching Gary Vaynerchuk. How's that going?
New York City. It's good, man. I'm a little under the weather.
Do you have a cold?
I feel like I got some like swollen lymph nodes. Yeah. Like the beginning of a cold, but whenever that happens, I drink a lot of water and take it pretty easy. And like, I've been able to prevent myself from actually getting sick, but I can tell I'm like early fighting something off.
It's because your immune system is just freaking outrageous.
This time of year, it's actually down. I need to get some UV. I need more vitamin D. I think that's where I'm lacking at this time of year. But, what can you do?
Do you take vitamin D every day?
No, I don't take it every day. I have 10,000 I use. So
Okay. How often do you take it?
1.5 times a week, twice a week, maybe.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. 50, I don't know my actual, I should get blood work. I don't know my vitamin D levels, and I'm not trying to overdo it and I'm not even close to overdoing it, but 10,000, 70,000 I use a week might end up overdoing it. I just don't know. And it's not like vitamin C or something you just pee out. Vitamin D you store. So
do you take vitamin C packets like when you start feeling yourself sick?
Yeah. I'll throw down a couple emergencies a day, drink a lot of water, take it easy. But yeah, Gary's good. We got a couple of good workouts these last few days. Yeah. We just talked about the city. The city's amazing. It's buzzing. Like, it's what you see on social media is not what it is in real life. Yeah. You'll see like one random scene from one protest and be like, oh, XYZ city is like in the tubes, but it's electric. It's the city's amazing, especially this time of year.
It makes me think of Ryan Long's skit where he like will take videos. If you don't know who Ryan Long is, he's a comedian, and he's one of the greatest comedians of our time. And he does so many different types of clips, and he's unbelievably clever. And fair warning, there is nothing that is too soon for him to make a joke about. Like, it could happen this morning and it could be devastating, and that afternoon he's making jokes about it. And if you're not that into humor like that, don't look him up because you won't like it. But he's so clever with his humor, and he did this whole skit where he was pretending to be a videographer and that captures real-time events. So like during like BLM riots, he would take videos of the cops like beating the shit out of people, and he would send that to CNN. And then he's like, but then I have this other half of the footage of people like lighting things on fire and burning down buildings. And he's like, and I'd sell that to Fox. He's like, I can't let the other half go to waste. And so it shows how like no matter what news station, whatever they want to put up to support their narrative, he's like, all right, well, CNN gets the footage of the cops beating people, but Fox gets the footage of the people lighting buildings on fire. And he's like, this is how I get the best of both worlds as a videographer.
That's funny. That's funny.
And so like, that's what we see on social media is like your algorithm is going to push whatever you end up consuming more of. And it's just all nonsense.
Yeah. And just like the most extreme thing bubbles up to the top, which isn't representative of what's actually happening at large on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
You got any travel on the horizon?
I know I'm doing a speaking event in Nashville, I think at some point in January. And I am doing a podcast in Miami, and I think I'm going to make those two the same trip. So I'm going to go, I think, from Dallas to Nashville to Miami, either Dallas to Nashville, Miami, or Dallas to Miami and then Nashville. I forget. I'm going to do it all in like the same go, like 72 hours. But my mom is coming to Dallas for Hanukkah. She's very excited to see my daughter. She just started like really walking, so it's super cute. She she is like teetering, but she's walking a lot. And she has really just started saying yes and no. I don't think she really understands what they mean, but she's saying them a lot. And when she says no, sometimes she'll say no, but like I'd say 96% of the time she says mo. So like almost she's just like mo.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
But she doesn't really get it because like if I say, do you want to eat like this? She'll be like mo. But if I say, do you want to eat? She'll be like, yeah. So she's just purely responding to the energy that I have, not like what I'm actually saying.
The words. Yeah. She's learning.
So, yeah.
Your mom was there not too long ago.
She was, for her birthday. So she was here in August. And Yeah, and now she hasn't been to the house that we're in yet, so she'll be here. We got a guest room she can stay in, and
Nice.
yeah, that's what we got going on.
That'll be really fun. Even though Hanukkah, most people are uneducated and think that Hanukkah is the pinnacle Jewish holiday just because it's close to Christmas. But really, Hanukkah is like 5th on the list approximately.
Yeah, Hanukkah, I'm not going to say it's not an important holiday. It is a very important holiday, but in terms of importance in Judaism, it is not at the top at all. It's like a Hallmark holiday now, unfortunately.
You want me to take a
I
stab
don't think
at
even a lot of Jewish people really know what it's about. A stab about what?
ranking Jewish holidays
Yeah, sure.
in order of importance?
Like top, I'd say number one is, wait,
Well,
do you
no,
want to do it or you want me
obviously,
to do it?
obviously you can do it. That's not
Oh,
a fun
okay, yeah,
game.
you do it. All right,
That'd be-
go for it. Go for it.
Where's the fun in that? It's like, I assume you know. No, we don't have to do that.
No, do it. Top three. I think you know this. I think we spoke about it recently.
I don't think I have Hanukkah in my top 3.
No, Hanukkah's not in top 3.
I know. I think so. I'm going to go top 5. I'm going to say at number 1. So number 1 and number 2 for me as an outsider are slightly interchangeable because they're very different. On the one hand, you have a celebratory holiday.
Oh yeah,
Rosh
you're right.
Hashanah,
You know this.
the Jewish
Yep.
New Year, like happy, exciting. And on the other hand, in a similar time of year, you have Yom Kippur, which is the High Holy Day, a day of atonement. It's a more somber day. Isn't as celebrated, but is very important. I'm not gonna slot those 2 just yet, but I have those at 1 and 2 in some order. I'm gonna go.
That's right.
Passover is definitely in like the 3 to 4 range for me.
Yep. Yep. For me. I love that.
What was the holiday on October 7th?
Oh, that wasn't a holiday. That was the anniversary of the war. That was an anniversary of a war.
Okay.
Was that a holiday? I think you're right, actually.
Because I thought that was part of the like appeal for the attack was that it was.
Wait, that wasn't Sukkot, was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it was. I think that was the last day of Sukkot.
Okay. I'm going Yom Kippur 1, Rosh Hashanah 2, Passover 3. Sukkot?
Yeah. Wow. Oh wait, it was the last day of Sukkot, and then it was Simchat Torah. Got it. Yep.
Sukkot 4, Hanukkah 5. Because it's been commercialized.
Dude, I mean, I think you're right. I think that was a perfect representation of the top 5.
What can I say?
That was super well done, man. That was in your descriptions of them. Did you say Yom Kippur was 1?
I put it at 1 just because in this day and age, I think that repentance and atonement are like highly important.
You're right. I think it is number 1.
Cool.
Dude, love that.
I got a weird theory. Have I told you about this? The interest graph versus the friend graph on social media?
No.
I think that it is going to have deleterious long-term effects on humans' ability to maintain relationships in person if we continue to use technology at the rate that we are right now.
Okay.
Here's where I'm going with this. There used to be a small supply of information in the world, like think 3 news channels, think 3 radio channels. Like basically what you were consuming was the same thing that your family, your neighbors, your community, that everyone else was consuming the same thing. And you built narrative around that like finite piece of, or those finite pieces of information that you were all consuming. Whereas the increase in the total supply of content has led to this fragmentation where everyone is consuming. I mean, there's still overlap, right? Like you and I both get Ryan Long shorts on Instagram or YouTube, and we both laugh about them and we talk about them, but there's less overlap than there used to be. I think as more and more people make content because it's profitable, we're going to have less overlap in what we're all consuming, which is going to slightly erode relatability amongst people in your life. And I thought of this because I got to this hotel on Saturday, checked in Saturday night, literally just like organized, put my stuff down, turned the TV on, which I never turn cable TV on at home and just like see what's on TV. Never. It's just like a habit in a hotel room. So I do that. And the Alabama football game is on. I don't even watch college football, but there's 40 seconds left. They're down by 4 points, and it's 4th and goal from the 32-yard line. So like basically game's over. They throw a Hail Mary, catch it in the end zone, game-winning touchdown, like completely insane. And I have a client, shout out Aaron, who I know listens, who I texted. I was like, wow, like insane. And then another buddy of mine who I grew up with, who's a huge Alabama fan, who I haven't talked to very much over the last couple months. And I texted him too. I was like, unbelievable. Like just thinking about 50 channels and everyone consuming the same thing. And obviously all of human relationship and like connection isn't around the information we consume. Like we relate on other things. It's just one thing we relate on. But the fact that we've moved from this like finite stream of content that most people are, there's like a lot of overlap to everyone has their individual algorithm to like AI, even more content being created, like having hyper personalized algorithms being served up where you have almost no overlap with other people, I think is going to have a negative effect on people's ability to relate to each other.
How do you see this playing out in terms of like human connection? Like practically, you think like people just are going to like be very disconnected in their own social media, their own AI world will just be so different than everyone else's world. So they're all living in worlds that are like separate universes almost.
You could say that. I don't know like what the final outcome is, and I'm not doomsdaying it. I just think
yeah. I understand. I didn't mean to doomsday it.
Yeah. I don't know what the final I don't know what the outcome is. I just sense that that's the direction it's heading in. Like, even with my high school friends, like who I stay in contact with, there's a more finite number of subjects like family, kids, Vikings. Like there are fewer, how are you doing? How's your job? Like those things are always there. Telling old stories from the past, which is one of the best parts about long friendships for dudes especially, and laughing and reminiscing. But just relatability around what you're consuming, I think is decreasing.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I mean, I think we can already see that. I mean, I'm seeing it practically from a very two-sided perspective in terms of like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict right now, where it's like people are seeing completely different things. And like I've had to go out of my way to find accounts that are giving opposing views. And it's crazy because like when I go out of my way to find those and then give those views, I see things that I'm like, oh, that's why they're saying that. Like, because I never have seen that side of it because my feed isn't showing it to me. So I think that's just like looking at a very two-sided perspective. But then what you're saying, it takes it even 10 steps further, in which now it's not even going to be really sides. It's going to be individuals. Like literally each individual will have very much their own stream, their own base, because there's so many more creators and it's so much more individualized and targeted toward that person. Yeah. I mean, that makes total sense.
I've heard about this with the future of AI generated music as well, where each individual has like slightly different micro preferences where an AI can make the perfect, I don't know anything about music. I'm basically tone deaf too, but like the perfect tune, melody, like sound that is most enjoyable for you. even if it's slightly different than what's enjoyable for your friend, your colleague. Like everyone
I don't like that at all.
Why not?
That is like the first thing I've heard that has really made me worried about like artists, like music artists. If AI can change the art for the individual, now it's no longer coming from the artist. Now it's for the listener, which that completely changes the game of art. Art isn't for the person listening or the person viewing it. It's for the person making it.
Creating it.
And so if AI
Good
changes it, like that's the first thing I've heard that has really made me be like, ooh, I don't like that at all.
I'm no expert on this, but supposedly that same path is already happening with video games. And I'm like Nintendo 64 was the last game system that I played, but
The greatest
supposedly
of all time.
there's like hyper individualized games to suit your enjoyment. So it's not like we're both playing Mario Kart. I'm playing a game that is AI'd towards my liking, and you're playing a slightly different game that's created towards your liking. And I don't know that we're actually there right now, but if we're moving in that direction and it continues, it's like it's just more siloing, which I guess the takeaway is if this does happen, the importance of in-person strong community and human interaction just increases for individual well-being and for flourishing of societies.
Yeah. I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard whispers of like the younger generation, like teenager level of like resisting technology and getting like flip phones and not wanting smartphones, which makes me so happy that like they're like, screw this, like that. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard whispers of it. And it is sort of hard to believe because like I couldn't imagine being a teenager and not wanting to use all the technology. Like I would imagine that'd be very like, it's very difficult. But if that's true, and it also makes sense just historically, you know, generations will resist whatever the older ones are doing. So if that's accurate, that just makes me incredibly happy.
If that's true, I would love that. The incentives for individual flourishing seem to be there, right? Like 1 to 2 hours a day on your phone and lots of time outside is going to be superior for you compared to 12 hours a day on your phone. But the financial incentives around creator economy, like so much attention from the end consumer being on social media, leading to incentives for someone looking for a job to be like more in the space of something on the internet. I mean, supposedly I'm seeing graphs of percent of, or like dollars spent as a percentage on social media compared to other forms of shopping. And it's not increasing a little bit. It's increasing a lot from 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but like the amount of stuff being purchased on TikTok through these ads that are getting so good, it just seems like more incentive to be on the phone and on social.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife will buy stuff off of Instagram. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is that?
I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is that? I hate being sold to so much that I won't even look at an ad on, like, I try and flip past it as quickly as I can. I'll cover my ears. I'll do whatever. I'm like, I'm not letting you influence me like that, and definitely not take my money from my pocket.
No, absolutely not. I'll go on Google and like search something, and then I'll just click the ad just to
cost them
make
money.
them pay for that click.
I'll only do that on companies I don't like. I try not to do that with businesses that I like.
Yeah, I'm not doing that to the businesses I support, but like for annoying ones or whatever, like click, click, click. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, why are you trying to buy that keyword from your competitor? No, I'm going to make you pay for this.
Yeah.
Classic.
Bro, you'll never guess what I bought last night when I was in my gym. When I was working out in my garage. And I had maybe we could play this game.
Yeah, I'm going to guess it.
I'll give you a hint.
I don't want a hint. All right. You were in your garage.
I was in my garage. The hint was going to be what muscle group I was working.
Oh, okay. All right. You can say that.
Okay. I was doing ab work, and I was looking for a new way to hit my abs that, like, mainly out of boredom. I was like, I just want a different way to hit my abs, something that's challenging. And I was like, oh my God.
You bought straps for hanging knee raises.
No, I already have those. It's a great guess though.
Oh.
You know, I told you I had those yesterday. I told you that I
thought
had
you said you
straps for hanging knee
ordered them.
raises. No, I have those. I used those last night. I'm sore for them.
An ab wheel.
No, it is a great piece of equipment though.
You're thinking of new ways to hit your abs. You bought something. Was the thing you bought a piece of equipment for your home gym?
Yes.
Was it under $100?
Yes.
Jordan, thinking of ways to hit his abs differently.
You would also love using this. I don't want to give you too many.
Man, I'm having intense deja vu right now. I know this isn't the answer now because of my deja vu. I know that I've asked you this before in a parallel universe, and I know that you say the answer is no, but I'm still going to guess sliders.
No, I have sliders.
Looking for a different way to hit your abs. Under $100. I mean, there's no way you'd be like, I bought a medicine ball.
No. You would be so mad if I got a med ball. No, I
got this sweet 20-pound medicine ball.
Rotational throws at the wall.
Yeah. No, I'm going to get there.
Which are great exercises, by the way. That's just not the joke.
Yeah, you're not ripping that move.
You can't Google search different ab tools.
I'm not Googling. I'm going to my form database. No, not tools. I'm just looking at exercises just to jog my memory.
No, it's definitely not in your database, I promise.
Did you buy off Craigslist a $98 weighted crunch machine?
No, but I actually almost did. I really wanted to buy one of those.
Man, I have so many body weight moves in here. Keep related. A different way to hit your abs. All right, tell me the
movement pattern
on the exercise. How are you, like, is there lumbar flexion? Is it isometric? Is there rotation?
Lumbar flexion.
And is it more of an upper ab or a lower ab move?
Realistic. I mean, this is full ab, but probably if I had to guess, if I had to like say more upper, but it's all the abs.
Is it some kind of mechanism to hold your feet in place so that you can crunch?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, are you hanging upside down from this thing?
Yes, dude. Yes. Yes. Oh, man.
I agree. That's more upper than lower.
I thought when you first said like straps for hanging leg raises, I thought that you were going to get it on the first one. Oh, man.
What is the mechanism and how is it different than those straps?
So it's like a boot. You put it on each of your ankles. And then it like $100? Has a hook. This was like $37.
Dude, you do not want to cheap out on boots that hold you upside down where you can smash your skull. Trust me.
Dude, it's got over like 2,000 reviews.
No, Woodway makes boots. Call them. They're $9,000.
They definitely don't
but you will,
have
but you will
boots.
Never shatter your skull.
You don't want to cheap out on that.
Boots
I was actually thinking that I feel like you would love this because it's going to feel great on the back. Get some really good like spinal decompression with this hanging upside down. I feel like you would love these.
Wow. Sweet. Good addition.
Yeah.
And your gym equipment is coming today. Any minute, really, which is very exciting.
In fact, I got a phone call like 20 minutes ago, but I ignored it because you were in the middle of the Woodway story, and that was a funny one. I didn't want to interrupt you in front, so they might have already tried to deliver it.
Well, 20 minutes ago wasn't in the window. So if another phone call comes on, we'll answer it and put it on speaker. It could have just been a spam call. It was probably a spam call. I get a lot of those.
Yeah, it was a +1, so it was probably a spam call.
We have a question that I forgot to do last week. Where is this? This is from my client, Jackie, who is amazing. And dude, her home gym rivals your home gym. She's got, she has reverse hyper. She has a belt squat machine.
Shut up. She's got a reverse hyper. Oh my God. And a belt squat. Are you kidding me? It's better than my gym. There's no rivalry there. Her home gym is better than my gym.
Well, she's been building her home gym for longer than yours. So we'll give your home gym a chance, but
no, I have no chance. Hers is already better. Those are like when we move into the new house and have a bigger gym, those are the first two things I'm getting.
Yeah, they're two stellar pieces of equipment.
A reverse hyper and a belt squat. That is so sick.
I know. She said, I really love listening to your podcast. If you'd consider talking about this situation more, i.e. client stress and how it relates to their workouts, I would love to hear your and Jordan's thoughts on it. Thanks, and have an awesome weekend. And I'm not going to divulge too much, but basically there were some temporary familial issues that were causing some stress, and also I want to say a close friend, she said, who had cancer and was in hospice borderline, if I remember right, kind of towards the end and not looking good. And just that, this is a woman who's very consistent, dominates workouts, really solid on nutrition, but these temporary things happening in her life were causing an extreme amount of stress, and just wondering about how we might differ in whether it's programming or anything from the psychological side of things when a client is going through something like that.
Well, first, sending all of our love and prayers, and I hope everything is okay. If your friend has passed, I am so sorry for your loss. I'll say, I think one of the things that before I started coaching people, and I started coaching when I was really young, when I was 14, 15, 16, is I just assumed how I handled things was how everyone handled things. And as I started coaching people and working with people and learning the psychology and learning behavior, you very quickly understand that that's not the case. People handle different things differently, and there isn't a right way or a wrong way. It's just people have different ways of dealing with things. And your job as a coach is not necessarily to force them to do something, but just to help them through it in whatever capacity you can. And I would say that for me, and I've lost, unfortunately, a number of close friends over the years, whenever that happens, whenever I've lost a close friend, for whatever reason, something just flips and I go to the gym. That's just my reaction. That's where I get my anger out. That's where I get my stress out. That's where I can just spend some time to be alone and just I don't even know the right word, because think isn't the right word, but it's where I can just almost zone out and just do whatever I need to do. So that's historically what I've done. I remember my friend Max died when I was 18. I was 18 or 19, and literally the first thing I did was I went to Gold's Gym and started deadlifting. My friend Nick recently passed away. First thing I did. My friend Chris, throughout my life, that's literally what I've done every single time. But I've had many clients who, when they lose people, that's the last thing in the world they want to do. They have no desire to do that whatsoever. And I don't think that's wrong. I think, especially in the immediate wake of losing somebody, sometimes you just need to just listen to whatever your body is saying and just do that. If that's just stay at home and relax and watch TV or call friends or read books or whatever it is, I would say do that. I would give yourself some time and grace. What I've always found for the clients of mine who have struggled is I do recommend, even if it's not working out like a legitimate strength workout or high intensity cardio workout, is spending some time outside. It doesn't even necessarily mean having to get steps if they don't want to, but if they can go on a walk outside, amazing. If they can just spend time outside, amazing. Just getting outside, getting fresh air is, I think, one of the best things you can do, which I found sometimes just getting up when you're feeling very depressed and sad is very difficult. Getting out of bed, getting out of your house is very difficult. So making the goal just to get outside, breathe in some fresh air. And usually as soon as you breathe that fresh air in, it fills your lungs like, all right, cool. I want to just I want to move. So that would be like the goal is just get outside. Because sometimes even when you're working out inside your beautiful gym, it's like, you do not want to go outside, or like maybe you even like feel like trapped inside that gym. So getting out, getting some sunlight, getting some fresh air. And I would say focusing on that. And so I've had clients where sometimes it takes them 1, 2, 3, or 4 weeks where they're like, I'm not feeling it. And then it takes them a minute. So even after everything that happened, and it's still happening in Israel and Gaza right now, but for probably the first 3 weeks of that happening, I had a lot of anger and I was just taking it out in my runs and in my, I didn't really strength train. I didn't want to be in my gym very much. I did it a little bit, but most of my fitness was just running outside for like a couple hours because that's what I needed to do. So if you can get outside and move, I think it's one of the best things you can do.
Great advice. I completely agree. Everyone handles, and you went very specific on tragedy and losing loved ones. I'm going to back off a little and go more general stress with clients, just applying to more stressful situations. Communicating to your client that whatever modifications they need to make, they can make. And so in this instance, we dropped training frequency because she felt like she might not want to be working out as much with everything going on. That can mean dropping training frequency. That can mean lowering volume. That can mean, having like short modified workouts to get something in, to keep momentum going and to feel good. That can mean time off of training if that's what's needed. On the nutrition side, if someone's trying to add muscle and it's really hard for them to get all those calories in, don't worry about that right now. If someone's in a deficit and they've been making a lot of fat loss progress, but right now that they're eating more and they're stressed about losing progress, don't worry about that right now. Like maintenance calories / not tracking for this few days or weeks, whatever it is, like communicating that this is a temporary short period of time and fitness isn't the most important thing, or rather your fitness progress isn't the most important thing. What's more important is using fitness to help you get through this difficult time and through this stressful time. I now want to differentiate between what you and I have just been talking about here, which is specific, finite stress compared to chronic, like I'm always overworked, I'm always overwhelmed, I always feel stressed, feeling or like behavior as a result of. Because putting fitness on the back burner or using it as a tool or setting fitness progress aside to get through a difficult period of time absolutely makes sense. But if there's no specific stressor, if you have a client who's in a situation where they're just always stressed out, then something needs to change with their lifestyle or within their life to get them into a place where they can make progress. If it's been months, they haven't made any progress, and they're stressed because work and kids and general life stressors, that's where you have to take a deep dive on, okay, like how are we coping with this stress? What does sleep look like? What does drug and alcohol use look like? What does like any potential vices, any like areas where you can clean up or cut something out that is going to open up, energy and capacity to focus on fitness. Because if you're just chronically stressed about life, then putting fitness on the back burner doesn't make sense, because then you're never going to make the progress you want to make. I think those two, the difference between those two situations is interesting. And I actually, from a coach's perspective, the individual going through a specific short-term or at least like limited term stressor is easier than the person who's just quote unquote always stressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I remember even reading one of Lyle McDonald's articles probably in 2010 or 2011. He had a great article talking about, it was a case study of a client who was swearing up and down. She was meticulously tracking her calories, and he was like, and she was meticulously tracking them. She was doing a ton of cardio, but she wasn't losing weight. Do you remember this article? Remember what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And she was like doing everything, but she wasn't losing. And he was talking about how she was so meticulous with everything that she was stressing herself out to such a high level that she was actually holding on to water weight. It wasn't fat. She was still losing fat, but it wasn't showing on the scale. And it wasn't until she actually eased up on things and relaxed a little bit that then she had a huge whoosh and she ended up losing weight. But chronic stress can really make it appear as though things aren't working and make it so much more difficult, which then, it's a never-ending cycle, because the more it doesn't work, the more stressed you get about it. And the more stressed you get about it, the more it doesn't seem to be working. Sometimes you just need to fucking breathe and relax. And again, this is the difference between there's a big difference between losing a loved one versus like you're just stressed about shit and like you're stressed because you want to lose 4 more pounds. Like you need to relax. It's there are different levels of stress, and when you have to really take a close look and say, is it okay to be stressed about this right now? If it's a loved one dying, yes, you better believe it's okay to be stressed about that. If you're stressed because you want to lose 4 more pounds and you're really stressed about that, like you need to fucking relax. Like it's not something to really be worried about.
Yep. That's absolutely right. And I remember that article. That's the, remember a few episodes ago, we differentiated between the male and the female CEO and talked about the type A female CEO prototype or archetype. That's generally the type of person who will carry those levels of stress around scale weight, and that can happen.
Yeah, makes total sense.
Sweet, brother. Great episode. You got your equipment on the way.
Let's go, baby.
Call that number back and just make sure that those weren't the delivery guys.
Yeah, I'll call him back. I'll give him a call. Thanks for listening. Every Tuesday, we don't miss a Tuesday, no matter what. There are no Tuesdays that are missed.
Knock on wood.
It's not like that 2019, 2020 era where we were sort of here and there. Now we're always here, never there. And if you like the podcast, please leave a 5-star review. Nothing lower than 5 stars, please. If you don't like the podcast, just don't leave a review. If you do like the podcast, please leave a 5-star review. We love you. Thank you so much. We will see you next week on Tuesday, because we never miss a Tuesday.
Bye, everyone.